YouTube is full of videos about good knives. It's full of videos about bad knives. It's high time that someone makes a video about weird knives. This is 3 Weird Knives, and I'm your host, JJJinks!
Let's get weird.
We're going to start this one off with a knife made by Spyderco. I really like it when well-known brands that make good stuff come out with novelty knives. We're seeing it a little bit more and more. Some years ago, Civivi actually came out with a Halloween-themed Elementum, which I don't think they made very many of them because I only ever found them on eBay and for a lot of money. And more recently, Microtech has been coming out with like zombie-themed OTFs and things of that nature. I applaud it. This is a knife that I have wanted for a very long time. I've seen it a couple times in person, once at Smoky Mountain Knife Works in Tennessee, and another time at Blade HQ in Virginia. They just charge an obscene amount of money for it. It's probably a small market, people who like weird novelty knives like me. So why would they make so many? Comes with a cool little sticker, and actually it came with a bigger one too in the outer packaging. This one's kind of neat. I like the earthy tones to it. Kind of maybe a 1970s feel. Spyderco Factory Outlet 2024, Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth. And this is what appears to be a Delica, a shadow of a Delica. Pretty cool. Anyway, it's the Pokey, or Pachi. Not really sure how to pronounce it. And the reason why I finally was able to pick one up is because it went on sale for Black Friday, marked from $380 MSRP to $100. And I'm like, this is my chance to get one for a bit less money, and obviously it is shaped like a pooch, a dog, hence the name. Supposedly, the name is derived from the Japanese word for dog or puppy or something like that. Let's consult the pamphlet. It tells you right here it's pronounced Pochi. Okay. It draws its name from the most common Japanese dog name, roughly equivalent of Spot. What I like about this knife, first of all, it's itty bitty. Kind of reminds me of like the McBee, but cooler because it's shaped like a dog. It is made of CPM S45 VN steel, so they actually gave it a premium steel, and the tail is articulated. Doesn't really do anything, it's just kind of there. It's the novelty of it. We got a downswept flipper tab, a classic Spidey hole, kind of an interesting clip point, stubby little thing. The pocket clip has a paw print kind of stamped out of it, so that's pretty neat. The pivot screw has this strange giant bluish disc thing on it, which does kind of overhang the frame lock a little bit, which probably is to act as an over-travel stop thing. And if you look up by the little disc thing, you'll notice on the frame lock, there's a concentric cutout for the strange disc-looking thing. And I just noticed there's like a piece of plastic here under the pocket clip. Okay. How do I get that out? Well, anyway, it is a tip-up carry. Kind of an interesting bent pocket clip design. Not reversible. Not sure what the scales are made of. Maybe the pamphlet says titanium scales and a titanium tail as well. The flipper tab doubles as a front paw, so you can actually stand this knife up, as dogs often do. It's also got these interesting cutouts on the back. I can see the tool marks. I'm just not sure how exactly they did that. Was it, I guess, a milling machine? But it's interesting how they kind of widen out when you get towards the back of the dog. And there's also a little cutout here on the dog's belly. And written on the blade, it says Tai Chung, and you have some presumably Japanese characters next to the spider hole. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Highly reflective. I think this might be my first knife in CPMS 45 VN. It's not entirely comfy. Basically fills half the hand, maybe even a third of it. But I like the little tiny blade on it. It's got a nice upswept cutting edge. A very welcome addition to my weird knife collection. Now, this next knife comes to us from wish.com. It was a very inexpensive, kind of a multi-tool knife where it's got tool bits built right into the thing. It's got a single blade, which you can be pulled out by this slot. It's got a half stop. Nothing too remarkable about the blade. It's just a short little drop point deal. It sits a bit low on the knife, so that's kind of different. But what drew me to this knife was the inclusion of these bits. And this is what makes the knife kind of weird. Now, there are knives and multi-tools and stuff out there that have bits and a driver. And in this case, the driver for these bits is this cutout on the bottom of the knife. And you just drop the bit right in and it clicks into place because there's a magnet in there to hold it in. I thought that was kind of cool. Furthermore, the bits are actually held in place in the body of the knife also by a magnet. There's like a strip magnet that goes down the whole line. So they are nice and secure in there. Although I wouldn't be surprised if I pull this out of my pocket and half of them are missing because they're not held in extremely tightly. And here you can see the strip magnet and all the slots for the bits, which also kind of gives it a pretty cool look in my opinion. So here's what bits are included. It's got a PH00, so Phillips head. Then we got a slotted one, SL 1.7. We've got a slightly bigger slotted driver, SL 4.0. Not sure what the numbers really mean. And we have a hex bit, H3.0, a T8 bit, and then a larger Phillips head driver, PH1. Big missed opportunity is a T8 bit. I would have liked to have seen a T6 bit as well, because for some reason, knife manufacturers love those T6 screws. Matter of fact, this knife has T6 screws, which you can't drive because it doesn't come with a T6 bit. That's kind of weird in and of itself. And that's pretty much it. It's a neat concept. I applaud the use of magnets for such things. The only disadvantage to having a magnet in your pocket is it'll probably want to grab onto little bits of ferrous material that might fall into your pocket. If you're a machinist, perhaps, that could happen quite often. It's probably not a big concern, though. And for the third knife, something that I did not know existed until quite recently, and I got two of them. Did you know that back in the 1970s, McDonald's came out with a chopped steak sandwich, and to promote that new product, they gave away these, a free steak knife. Collect a full set. See coupon for details, made in Japan, and the McDonald's logo. I bought this from eBay after I learned of their existence. Paid $15 for them both, and it came with a nice letter. Check this out. Thank you for purchasing these two steak knives. These pieces come from the original McDonald's museum here in San Bernardino. Proceeds from eBay go towards improving our museum. Thank you again, Angel. So, without even knowing it, I was altruistic. So I'm going to open one of these. Let's use the Pokey to kind of, well, the package is already kind of ripped up here. Oh. And here's the cardboard slip that says free steak knife. Yeah. And here it is unpackaged. This is in pretty good shape for its age. I mean, it's never been used. The handle is wood. It's got a nice shine to it. Brass pins, and written on the blade it says Harford Forge, Stainless, Japan. So, without this slip of paper, it's just an ordinary steak knife. Single ground, fully serrated edge, partial tang. I mean, it's comfy, it's slim. I like it. It's shiny. I might actually use this for food. And I'm just imagining walking into a 1970s McDonald's and the room is just full of people holding knives. I wonder how many of these they made and for how long, and maybe I gotta go to the McDonald's museum in San Bernardino. And I'm glad I got two, because now I can keep this one in the packaging. One of the interesting things that I noticed was that it tells you to collect a full set, but it doesn't really tell you how many come in a full set. Presumably as many as you want. And for me, that number is 2. Well, I think this is a very, very interesting piece. Definitely a weird promo item. And I'm kind of curious for people who have parents or friends or siblings or whatever that were around during this time period. If they still have a couple of them banging around in their cutlery drawers. Harford Forge, stainless, Japan. Very stainless, not a spot of rust on this thing. And that's all I've got for you today. We'll see you in the next one.